Congratulations, first of all, on this summit to all of you involved in reimagining high school. Let me ask you, in a perfect world, from what you've seen, what would you as a policymaker want to see as the new form of high school?
I think, Andrea, as a country, we are fighting a battle right now. And the battle is education an investment or is education an expense? I think education is the best investment we can make. I think if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. I never say we should invest in the status quo. We have to invest in a vision of reform. I'm convinced the vast majority of young people who drop out not because high school is too hard, but because it's too easy. And they don't see the relevance between what's going on in school and the real world. Our dropout rate is going down. It is still unacceptably high, as you know. And when young people drop out today, they're basically condemned to poverty and social failure. So the stakes here are huge. If every child had a chance to pursue their skills, pursue their interests, be engaged in their own learning, be excited about coming to school every single day rather than bored, I think we would see that dropout rate plummet. But we have a long, long way to go. But getting that dropout rate down to zero and making sure every high school graduate was truly college and career ready, that to me I think is the goal we can all sort of unite behind.
Two things come to mind because I have proselytized on my program and in Education Nation and past conversations with you about arts and music education. And it's the first thing that has hit the chopping block here with the cuts in the District of Columbia. So what do we do about a whole generation of kids who don't have the opportunity that I had when in first grade somebody put a violin in my hand, which was owned by the school district?
The fact of the matter is a disproportionate number of jobs in the future. Young people are going to need some skills in the STEM area. But where you see art and dance and drama being eliminated, Andrea, we're cutting off our nose to spite our face. If you want to reduce dropout rates, you have to have the arts. You have to have it, after-school enrichment activities. What I think, Andrea, we have to get to is what I call a well-rounded, world-class education. And when we do that, again, children can find out what their gift is. They can find out what they're best at. It's not one versus the other. It's always going to be both and.
What about online education and various modifications of it? Is the message to teachers that they should not be threatened by this because you could have the famous algebra teacher online and you could have the regular science or math teacher reinforcing it, doing the testing, doing the classroom work as the backup to the lecture?
Technology will never replace teachers. And I think that for me the goal is obviously blended learning. It's great teachers empowered with great technology. And we put those two things together, I think really special things happen.
Now, with all the advantages of technology, we still have so many schools right here in the District of Columbia where we're sitting today that don't have the same access to technology that middle class and upper middle class kids have in their systems at school and at home. How do you make up for that gap, the technology gap?
Well, the digital divide is real. It's an urgent challenge. It's one, again, that we're really struggling with. We're great at doing new things. We're not great at stopping doing things. But as a country, we spend, I'm not sure the exact number, $6, $7, $8, $9 billion each year on textbooks. So the question is, when are we going to stop buying textbooks, and when are we going to put that money into technology? And as a nation, we're either going to lead the world or we're going to be a laggard here. And other countries are moving very, very aggressively.
From our Twitter friends out there, what is the effect of testing on innovation?
Well, I think historically, a lot of testing has been somewhat stifling. And I think this is an area where we have to get it right. First of all, much less focused on just a single test score, which I think there's way too much as a country, much more focused on long-term outcomes. There's some folks who think we should do no testing. There are other folks that somehow think, testing should be 100% of a child's grade or a teacher's evaluation. Those two extremes, I think, are both equally destructive. There's a common sense middle ground in which ongoing evaluation is important for students to understand where they are, to give teachers real-time feedback in terms of how they're doing, and to empower parents so they can work on their child's strengths and weaknesses at home.
How do you see the Common Core standards fitting into your plan to reimagine high school?
So having higher standards is a huge step in the right direction. The hard part now is how do you implement those higher standards? And we have a lot of hard work ahead of us over the next couple of years. But if we can get to the other side of this, I'm absolutely convinced our country is going to be in a wildly different place.